Okay, students. So I, Dr. Amarpreet Singh, welcome you to the next session, next semester, that is your seventh semester. And I congratulate that your half of your 6 semesters are over in the engineering, and you in the final year of your engineering. But I will be teaching you the subject of artificial intelligence throughout the semester. So today's is the just the overview of the subject. So I will be sharing your this presentation where I will tell you about the what is this subject is about. So I will directly go to the presentation that I have made for you to share the overview of the subject. So your subject is artificial intelligence. The topic for today is basically the overview of the subject. And I hope you know my name, all of you, Dr. Amarpreet Singh, and I'm professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering from last 13 years, and my total teaching experience is 21 years. So this is your syllabus. Your syllabus is divided into the 4 parts or the 4 sections, or you can say in a 4 units. So in this slide, the first 2 sections or the first 2 parts are shown. So I will stop here so that you can go through and read the content of your part 1 and part 2. So starting from the part 1, it is introduction to AI. So this is the first chapter in a part, the first unit. That is the introduction to AI. So here you will be doing the definition of the terms intelligence and definition of the term artificial intelligence, importance of artificial intelligence, Turing test, very important test, and recent AI applications. Along with this, you will be also doing within the chapter the components of the AI, what are the prerequisites of the AI, and what are the technologies that play important role in developing the concept of AI. So this is the first introductory chapter of AI. Then we will be moving to the second chapter that is known as problem solving. So here, first of all, we will see what is the definition of the problem and what are the characteristics of the problem. From the characteristics of the problem, you can know the nature of the problem and what to do and how to solve this problem. That can be seen through the characteristics of the problem. Then we will go through formulating the problem, how the problem is being formulated. Then we will see the categories or the types of the problems. Then very important terms we will be doing, that is what is state, what are operators, and what is state space search. So this is the second chapter of the unit 1 or the part 1. The third chapter is the heuristic based search. So here we will do different search strategies and what is the importance of search is there. Then we will do the categories of the search, that is uninformed search and the informed search. Then coming to the special type of category of the search, that is the heuristic search. In heuristic search, we will be doing the heuristic function and we will do the generate and test. Generate and test is the basic, you can say, technique for testing. For testing, the best way we will do different techniques of searches. Best first search, A star algorithm, problem reduction, AO star search, hill climbing, constraint satisfaction problem, crypt arithmetic problems, and the means and analysis. So this is the, you can say, longest or the longest chapter of your syllabus, and it will require near about 3 to 4 lectures. So this is the longest chapter of your syllabus and very, very important. So all the different search techniques that are being implemented in the field of the AI, those will be discussed in this topic. So here we complete the part 1 of your syllabus, that is, it has having the 3 chapters. One is introduction to AI, then is the problem solving, and then is the heuristic based search. Next, coming to the part 2 or the unit 2 or the section B, whatever you may say. So first chapter in this section is gameplay. So here we will see what are the different types of game that are being played on a computer or your mobiles. So what are the categorization of the game? So your game can be lie in one of the categories, whether it is a perfect decision game or the imperfect decision game. Then what are the different evaluation functions that are included in the gaming? Then very much important algorithm of the game playing is the minimax algorithm. Very important. We will cover minimax algorithm. And after doing the minimax algorithm, we will come to know some, you can say, disadvantages of the minimax algorithm, or some limitations are there in a minimax algorithm. That is the time consuming factor will be there. So that factor will be addressed through the one important concept of alpha beta pruning. Very important concept where the all the, you can say, disadvantages or the limitations or the constraints of the minimax algorithm are removed. That concept is known as alpha beta pruning. The second chapter of unit 2 is inferencing and reasoning. So it is one of the characteristics of the AI technology, that what it inference and in reason out, and it is the concept of the human being itself. So from the given facts we can inference the new facts, and we can reason out that what is the cause of this particular statement or this particular, you can say, incidents that has been happened. So here we will do the different types of reasoning and inferencing. The list you can see logical reasoning. Then in logical reasoning, the two important rules that we will be covering is modus ponens rule and the modus tollens rule. Then we will see the different categories of the reasoning and different examples and types, starting from the inductive reasoning and the deductive reasoning, then formal reasoning, analogical reasoning, monotonic and non-monotonic reasoning, probabilistic reasoning. Then very important concept of chaining. In this we will be covering forward chaining and the backward chaining, and few terms, that is the resolution and the unification. The third chapter of second unit is AI languages. So it is very short, where we'll be covering the features and characteristics of two important AI languages. One is the Lisp and another is the Cliffs. So this is half of your syllabus, part 1 and part 2. Let us move to the part 3 and part 4 now. So in the part 3 or the unit 3, the first chapter is planning. Very important chapter, as the planning is required. Why the planning is required? What are the components of the planning? So here we will be doing the definition of the planning. Then we will see the types of two types of planning, that is linear and non-linear planning. And we will see the categories of the system, whether the system is reactive system or the non-reactive system. As the categorization of the system varies, the planning also changes. Then we will move to the very important topic, that is the components of the planning. We will discuss the four components of the planning. Then we will have a case study where we will discuss the component of planning, that is planning in the block world. A very important case study. It is also known as goal stack problem that we will be doing here. Then we will doing the partial order planning, hierarchical planning, conditional planning. Then important terms, what are the two types of constraints in a planning? One is the resource constraint and another is the temporal constraint. Next chapter of unit 3 is uncertainty, because in AI uncertainty is the major factor. I want to tell you why we are doing all this when we will come to this chapter. But before that, I will just want to again give you the definition of the AI the overview of the AI, that is the AI is the, it is a concept in which we have trying to develop a machine that do all the work which at present human does better. So all the work that the human is being doing is very good, and we want to make a machine that can do all the work that at present human is doing, and human is doing in a better. So all the characteristics of the human we want to inculcate in that particular machine. So this is also one of the characteristics of the human to deal with the uncertainty. So we want that the machine should also deal with the uncertainty. So how to deal with the uncertainty? One is the basic probability theorem is there. So through probability concept, we can deal with the uncertainty, and in that, in a probability theorem, we will be doing the Bayes rule and the belief networks. Second type of uncertainty, some of the uncertainties are handled by the concept or the logic of fuzzy. That is the fuzzy logic. So there we will doing fuzzy set and the fuzzy system, where we will cover fuzzy logic. We will see what are the crisp sets and what is the fuzzy set. We will see the difference between these two. Then fuzzy membership, fuzzy operations, properties of fuzzy set. So this is the first part of the fuzzy. In the second part of the fuzzy, that is the fuzzy system, we will see what is the block diagram of the fuzzy system and what is the role played by the each and every block of the fuzzy system. What do you mean by inference in fuzzy logic? What are fuzzy rule-based system and applications of the fuzzy logic? So this is the part 3 that we have covered, that we'll be doing throughout your semester. Now coming to the last section or the part 4 of your syllabus. So the different technologies which are being implemented in a AI. So we will be covering that thing here also. One is the first, we start with the first chapter, neural networks and the learning. So neural network means the human neural networks. We will be studying the human brain, the biological human brain, nervous system, and we will see how we can implement the working of the human brain in a machine or the AI machine, and how we will develop that brain network in that particular machine, and that network will be known as artificial neural network. What are the different architectures of ANN? Then we will do very important concept of learning, and what are the three types of learning? One is supervised, unsupervised, reinforcement learning. And I know that this portion, that is types of learning, you have already covered in a machine learning. But it will be very easy to understand you that this topic, that is learning. Next, coming to the genetic algorithm, the second chapter of the fourth unit. So I will tell you about the what is the concept of genetic algorithm and why we are studying the genetic algorithm in AI. We will see different types of, you can say, processes in genetic algorithm. One is representation, initialization, selection, operation, operators, and the mutation. And in the last chapter of the fourth unit is the NLP, that is known as natural language processing. So here I will tell you about the introduction to NLP and what are the different phases of the NLP. So this is all about your syllabus. So if I will again show you the syllabus part 1, you can just read here. I will stop here so that you can read for 2. I will stop here in this slide for 2 minutes. So you must go through this slide properly. Go through the chapters of the 4 parts. Part 1, Introduction to AI, Problem Solving, Heuristic Based Search. In part 2, the different chapters are Game Playing, Inferencing and Reasoning, AI Languages, In part 3, we have got planning, uncertainty, fuzzy set and fuzzy system. And in part 4, neural network and learning, genetic algorithm, and natural language processing. So this is about your syllabus of the AI. So student, whatever the syllabus I have told you, so we have the course outcomes. Very important thing that what after covering this syllabus, what the students will be able to learn or perform, that comes under the course outcomes. So whenever you cover this syllabus, I will complete the syllabus. So you will be able to identify the problems that are amenable to solution by AI methods and which AI methods may be suited to solving a given problem. Means where the AI can be applied, which problem where the AI can be applied, and which AI technique or the method will be used to solve that particular problem. You will be able to formalize a given problem in the language framework of different AI methods such as search problem, a constraint satisfaction problem, hill climbing, and other means like means and analysis, A-star algorithm. You can implement basic AI algorithms. Those are known as standard search algorithms. The student will learn the basic of AI as a discipline and about the intelligent agents capable of deciding what to do. The student will be introduced to the programming also, the AI programming. So the language, it will be up to you which language you want to use to do the programming. But mostly nowadays, Python is being used to do the AI programming. The student will learn to apply the knowledge representation techniques and problem solving strategies to common AI applications. So these are the course outcomes. So after completing this, you will be able to perform these activities. So it is very important. That is the course outcome. So these are the important links. The lecture notes. You can get the lecture notes from these important links of the AI. So I will share this slide to you in your WhatsApp group also. And I will upload this presentation on the ERP portal that have already been done. So scope of this subject. So it is being used in various areas in which student can pursue either career are computer science and IT, heavy industry, online and telecom customer services, music, aviation, telecommunications. These are the all are some of the areas which are in list where you can see the scope of the AI. The programmer students have the choice between three options: engineering, computer science, speech and language technology, big data analysis, and it is the important subject for the UGC NET exam also. So this is the assignment methodology that you know. From section A and section B, I will be giving you the assignment 1. From section C, there will be assignment 2. From section D, there will be assignment 3. Each assignment will be having 2 sections. In section A, 6 questions of 2 marks each, and in section B, 3 questions of 4 marks each, and each section will be of 12 marks total. So this is your section exam methodology, section A and section B. This will be the syllabus for sectional test 1. Section C and section D will be syllabus for sectional test 2. And how that sectional test, if it is the offline, then you know the mode of the sectional examination, that is the 2 examination per day, and there is a gap in between the days of the examination for your preparation. It will carry 30 marks and maximum time will be 2 hours. So this is about the next is the artificial intelligence lab. So what is the overview of the lab? So you know your lab part is divided into the two, you can say part, the whole lab syllabus, it is divided into the two parts. Part A, where you will be doing some implementing the practicals. So here is the list of practicals that you will be doing here. Mostly it contains the different search techniques, like you have to implement the breadth first search, depth first search, there is the best first search, A star algorithm, and any other heuristic search procedure. You will be also solving the crypt arithmetic problems. So these are the case studies of the constraint satisfaction problem. Then you will be implementing a program for a water jug problem, Tower of Hanoi, tic-tac-toe, 3 by 3 puzzle, and still if you want to do any other program, you can also do. So this is list. These are the compulsory. So you can even do any other program also which is related to the AI. So this is the part A, and very important thing is you can use any language to solve or to make the program. So there is no restriction from my side. So you can perform or implement all this program in any language. But mostly nowadays Python is being used, and you all have done the Python in a fourth semester also. So it will be very easy for you to implement this program in a Python. And after doing this, the part B, where you have to make small application. So in small application, what you can do, you can make some game. So these games are already made from the previous batches. So you will not allow to make this game. If you want to make a game, you can make a new game other than this list. So I will tell you about all these games in a practical when we will have the practical lectures. So what these games are about, but you will not do these games. If you want to make a small application for the or the mini project, so these games could not be done. Or you have a choice to even now only not on the game. If you want to make some other application of the AI on the basis of speech recognition, okay, on a computer vision. So these are the different application areas. You can make some another application which is using the AI technology, that is also allowed to you in making in the part B application. So this is about the whole artificial intelligence. So in the next lecture when we'll be coming, I will be starting with you with the introduction. First chapter, that is the AI introduction. So today it was just the overview of the subject, where I have told you about what is the subject is about, what is the syllabus of the theory and the lab. So this is all for this session, where I have covered the overview of the AI. Clear? And whenever we come again, so I will be starting with the AI introduction. So